Usually on New Kids on the Block, we feature student union leaders, future generation politicians to talk about the current issues of the day. Well, today's show is going to be a little different. Along with student leaders, we also have a union minister to talk about the kind of protests that have been dominating the headlines ever since the Bhima Koregaon protests in Maharashtra. Dalit protests have become a major story, along with the kind of resistance that other young leaders like Jignesh Mewari have been facing. So in studio with us, we have Union Minister Ramdas Athawale, one of the major Dalit faces in the Union Council of Ministers, to take questions from the student leaders along with me. But first, just a look at how those protests have developed across the country and the kind of impact that we've seen. So let me introduce the student leaders who are going to be talking with the minister today. We have with us from ABVP Bhaskar Jyoti, from the BAPSA or the Ambedkar Student Organization we have Praveen, and from Congress's NSUI we have Miraj Matthew. So to begin with, how do you react to the fact that ever since the NDA government, your government has been in power, one of the themes which have been continuing from the beginning have been student protests and Dalit protests. We saw it with the Rohit Vemula suicide, where there was a huge questioning by your government about even his Dalit status, which seemed to have offended a lot of people, and it ended up in campus protests across the country. Then we also saw what happened in Una, and now this latest one in Maharashtra, your home state. How do you respond to it? The fact that the government has been incapable of handling this kind of sentiment from your community.
Now you know that, Junitra, our NDA government is also trying to stop the atrocities on Dalits and minorities and all the things. But you know that the casteism is also there, and always I am talking about this issue that why the Una incident take place, why the Pune incident take place, why the Sarangpur incident take place. Many places the Dalit atrocities are there, not because the India government is there. When the UPA government was there, that time also there were the atrocities also there. But our government is also trying to stop them, and you know that when...
Don't you think Dalit atrocities have increased?
The government is also trying to stop this all the things, and when the atrocity take place, the government is also arresting all of them, and government is also not supporting those people who are attacking the Dalit community. When you know that when Una, in Gujarat, when attack was take place, that time Narendra Modi said that if you don't try to disturb the Dalit community, if you disturb to anybody, then you disturb me. You fire me, but you don't touch the Dalit community. Means as this, Narendra Modi is also trying to stop all the incidents. But why the incidents are taking place? Because the casteism is also there. The change in society changing is also there. Many people are coming together. Intercaste marriages are there. Many people are sitting together, eating together. When Babasaheb Ambedkar was studying in Satara, that time he can't enter in the school. But now all the students are going in the school, and many changes are also there. But then only the atrocities are taking place.
You're part of this government, so I'm asking you this. You talk about the Satara school and how things have changed. Many people would argue, sir, that Rohit Vemula faced the same kind of problem. He was outside because he was being evicted from the hostel, and because of a fight he had with the ABVP, and because some people over here complained against him, and he was evicted from the hostel, and that led to his suicide. So in a way, that eviction kind of becomes the same as your dogma that you couldn't enter a temple complex. So in a way, things haven't changed. How does it feel like to be, you know, to be part of a government which is blamed for that, for creating those circumstances?
You know that the Rohit Vimula was from scheduled caste community or OBC community. There was something that dispute because his mother was from scheduled community, his father was from OBC community, and there was the intercaste marriage. But now the Rohit Vimula, the suicide take
but
place
the families
at that
accepted
time.
that,
But
you know, they
some
have
problems were there in the university, and he thought to suicide. But we are also unhappy about this matter. And Rohit Vimala, when he died at that time, our Narendra Modi also take something, and therefore some places, some incidents are coming, and we want to stop all of them.
maybe that questioning of the you know, his Dalit status is also what upset a lot of the people. Praveen, do you want to, you know, pick up on that particular thing of, you know, of the minister saying that casteism is there, and perhaps we see a manifestation of that in the kind of protests and the violence that we've seen in Maharashtra in the past week?
See, the protest that happened in Maharashtra in the recent few days is not new. After Ambedkar, Maharashtra did not produce any great Bahujan icon. This we have to understand it very clearly. Dalit Panthers instilled consciousness among the Bahujan community. It is absolutely appreciated. Later on,
Which is what the minister...
he was a product of one of the Panthers.
But yeah, just to tell all our audiences.
But now, personally and politically, I do not consider him as a Panther. I used to consider him, when I was a child. Now the point is, ever since this BJP government is in power, it has only one single agenda, that is to Brahmanize and to increase the agenda of Brahmanism and to execute Brahmanism in everyday lives. That is why, in a university issue, what role does a union minister like Smriti Irani or Bandaru Dattatreya has to play? I completely disagree with whatever Athawale said, because firstly, Rohit Vimala, when he was evicted because there was a pressure from Bandaru Dattatreya and also Smriti Irani.
That's what I was, yeah.
Therefore, BJP government is responsible for Rohit Vimala's institutional murder. When Una happened, Narendra Modi, if at all he has ever stepped down from his own arrogance, for the first time Narendra Modi stepped down from his arrogance when he went to a convocation in BBAU, Babasaheb Bhimrao Ambedkar University, Lucknow. When he went to a convocation, two students got up from the audience. They said, Rohit Vimala Jindabad, BJP Murdabad. When he said, Modi said for the first time, Bharat ka lal mar gaya. He said, the son of India is dead.
Right. We've been doing follow-up reports, and we've seen that Dalit young people they're being picked up a lot, they're being harassed, they're going into Dalit colonies and harassing them and picking them for the violence that took place. Isn't that really unfair? Wouldn't you call that unfair?
No, you don't know that Bhima Koregaon incident take place because the Maratha community is also in majority in Maharashtra state.
Yeah.
And you know that, one Kopardi, one village is there in Ahmednagar district, and 1 years back there was one take place, one incident, and our Dalit was, there was the rape on Maratha community.
That's right, yeah.
Girl, and and after that incident, the agitation was started in all over the Maharashtra, and now
that happened 2 years
ago. That in Bhima Koregaon, the many people are coming there. 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 3 lakh people are coming to Bhima Koregaon near Pune, and that day on 1st January 2018, that incident take place. Some Maratha organizations attack on the Dalit community. And therefore, after that on 2nd and 3rd, there was...
Dalits are the ones who are feeling the backlash of it, sir. That's what our reporting shows. That's the community which is being picked up on it and facing the backlash for it. Miraj, you want to comment? Yeah.
Yeah. So, the point that arises here is that there are two standards that are being applied right now. One is before our Prime Minister became the Prime Minister and when he was the Chief Minister. For 10 years, for a matter of fact, Planning Commission mandate that there should be a specific planning fund for SC and ST. For 10 years, the Chief Minister sat on it and he didn't have one meeting on record. And for a matter of fact, from 2007, he had released a book in which he said that basically the community, Dalit community or Valmiki community, are meant to take this work continuously on the book release that was done.
Okay.
Secondly, in another function in 2010, he states that they are equal to Dalits are equal to mentally retarded children. So the past, the followers that are being created in the past cannot change overnight.
We have to understand the larger politics behind all these Dalit movements that are being manufactured or that are being designed specifically to create an imbalance in the social harmony age old.
Are you saying that
please let me complete. I didn't intervene. I didn't intervene in between.
Praveen, one second. Praveen, Miraj, let him finish and then you can counter it. Yeah.
Since the day this BJP government came into power, they tried to frighten the people of this country by first demonetization, GST and all. When they failed to frighten the country by these menaces,
you mean the opposition?
Yeah, the opposition. And this opposition consists the unholy alliances of this Kanhaiya group, Reward Wapsi gang, and all those people who are constantly trying to create an imbalance in the social harmony and the age-old fraternity of this country.